Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Tommy who lived in a small town near a dense forest. Tommy was a quiet and timid child who often found himself being bullied by the other kids in his school. He would often wander into the forest to escape the taunts and jeers of his classmates. One day, while exploring the woods, Tommy stumbled upon an old arrowhead buried in the ground. As soon as he picked it up, he felt a strange energy coursing through his body. Suddenly, he felt stronger, faster, and more agile than ever before. Little did he know, the arrowhead belonged to a powerful Indian chief who had been killed by his captors many years ago. The chief's soul had been transferred into the arrowhead, and whoever held it now possessed his incredible powers. Excited by his newfound abilities, Tommy returned to school the next day with a newfound confidence. When his bullies began to taunt him once again, he stood up to them and fought back with his incredible strength and agility. The bullies were shocked and frightened by Tommy's sudden transformation and retreated in fear. As days passed, Tommy began to develop a strange obsession with the arrowhead. He would spend hours staring at it, feeling the chief's presence in its smooth surface. Tommy became increasingly isolated from the rest of the world, spending all his time alone in the woods, honing his newfound powers. One day, while Tommy was in the woods, he heard a faint voice calling out to him. It was the voice of the Indian chief, warning him that his powers were not to be used for personal gain. Tommy, feeling invincible and emboldened by his powers, ignored the chief's warning and continued to use them for his own purposes. One night, while walking home from the woods, Tommy was suddenly attacked by a group of shadowy figures. They were the spirits of the chief's captors, seeking revenge on anyone who possessed the arrowhead. Tommy fought bravely, but was quickly overpowered by the malevolent spirits. As he lay on the ground, barely conscious, the arrowhead slipped from his grasp and disappeared into the darkness. The next morning, the townspeople found Tommy lying in the woods, his body bruised and battered. He was rushed to the hospital, but despite the doctor's best efforts, he could not be saved. His body was buried in the town's cemetery, and the arrowhead was never found again. To this day, some people claim that on quiet nights, when the wind is still and the moon is full, the spirit of the Indian chief can be heard calling out from the woods, warning anyone who might stumble upon the arrowhead and the dangerous power it possesses.